Get ready for hot takes and insight from local industry experts in real estate, business, and lifestyle. He used to play ball with the Padres. He played hockey for the Lobos. Now they're crushing it in the real estate game. Together, they'll showcase the best of the Duke City. This is All About YouABQ.
Welcome back. It's all about YouABQ. Now, the goal of the show is to highlight the best of our city's industry experts in real estate, business, and lifestyle so that you walk away with some value and feeling inspired. Now, the way we like to do that is to answer the questions you may have or interview the guests that you want to see. So we invite you to join the conversation. You can always follow us on our social tag up here or join our email list to get some timely tips about our community and real estate market. Hey, I'm Skip Adams, owner of Sold by Skip Real Estate Brokerage here in Albuquerque.
Grant Harvey, Vision Mortgage Home Loan Expert.
Home Loan Expert is right. You probably recognize Grant as the head coach of the University of New Mexico men's Lobo hockey team, but now he's absolutely crushing it in the mortgage game.
Skip Adams, HGTV's by the top 2% producing real estate agents in the city, aren't you?
You know it, and we're back for season 3. Here's why you're going to want to stay tuned. Chidera Onyia, 4-time internationally published model and full-time social media influencer, making waves in the fashion industry, and joining us here in studio on the YouABQ podcast. So Chidera is coming in to bring some heat to the show.
It's about time. Can we talk about this? It's about time we had an authentic model.
Yeah.
Talk about being a model, right?
Yeah, totally.
How many people?
Oh, look! If you got an iPhone, you're a model instantly. Turn the camera
I don't
around.
want to bring up my Albuquerque magazine cover.
Oh.
But there's very few models that I can relate to.
The funniest thing about you, and I always thought this was a funny story, is because you would always we'd get into these conversations. You'd be like, "Yeah, I used to be a fragrance model," and in my head, I was always just like, "What in the fuck is a fragrance model?"
Dude, no,
hold on.
Okay.
Well, it's like when a girl's like, "Yeah, I model." I'm like, "What do you model? Gloves?" But if you model fragrance, it's
okay. Let me stop the film. I used to work for this shirt company called Cambridge, and I used to model polo stuff. But they made me get all ripped, and then there was no sign of me being ripped. I just modeled like a forest green and a burgundy polo. And when I was 25, but they're like, "We need to see what you're made out of." So I was like, "Okay," and then they're like, "Here, you have 2 pages."
2 pages of polo shirts. Your face is not even in it.
It's
just zoomed in on the logo, and those polos went straight to Ross, Dress for Less.
Okay.
But yeah, so season 3 seems to be a very feminine season. We've had all kinds of ladies on the show.
I don't mind that, and the thing is, I have to claim guilt for bringing on so many hockey players. I'm like, who else is fascinating? But dude. But we're about feminine power, right? How many sisters you have?
I got 2.
How many moms do you have?
I got 1.
Okay.
And I got 2 daughters. I am surrounded by ladies.
You are. This is why Skip wants to do the show with me. So there's some injection of we to do.
When the camera's on, we just break stuff behind the scenes here.
That would be an episode 2.
And then stay tuned to the end of the show. It's everybody's favorite, the marriage-saving, life-changing Skip's Tips.
I love that's the intro from now on. So what'd you do this weekend?
We had a busy weekend. And everything. Look, full disclosure.
We bought a bunch of Gerber.
Everything that I do is very kid-heavy, kid-centric. So we found a new recipe on Instagram for. Bed Bath and Beyond. I don't know if we're gonna have enough time, but we made pizza balls, and it was hilarious because Birdie.
I wish we could float that clip.
Dude, it's
Remember
so funny.
that from Eric Andre?
Time the pizza ball. Time to deliver.
Mark, I will give you $50 if you can find Eric Andre's Time to Deliver a Pizza Ball by the time we get done with this.
Yeah.
Swear to God, I will Venmo you.
I seen him do it.
Okay.
So anyways, so Birdie was just taking handfuls of it, and she doesn't talk very much, but she goes,
"Is a real thing?"
What did she say? She was like, "That's so good." Just this little 2-year-old kid in 2-year-old time. Anyways, that's kind of what we did. What's new with you, man? What'd you do?
Yeah, so we held the outdoor Los Alamos nuclear shootout.
Explosion.
Yeah. So we had
Just a preface, is a hockey.
Oh yeah, so Los Alamos has this outdoor rink that most people aren't aware of. It's beautiful. It looks like a snow globe. It's something else. So we had Arizona State, Air Force, and we have Missouri State. And
so when they all come to, do they stay in Albuquerque and bus up there? Because I can't imagine.
No, Los Alamos has very few hotels, but they actually stay up there. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
They're like host families or something. I would imagine.
No. Like there's actually hotels in Los Alamos, Skip.
Well,
everyone that doesn't realize this, Los Alamos
teams.
is a town that's been established.
Do they have electricity up there?
Yeah, they have bombs.
They have outdoor.
Yeah, so
rinks.
The boys came out there. I invite these coaches. So no one believes that we can have an outdoor tournament, and I bring these coaches in, and they're friends of mine, and so. They come in because if I hold a tournament and you go, hey, we're going to have something in Socorro, you'd be like, dude.
Nope, no, we're not.
Yeah, but the coaches are my friends and they come in. So. Well,
that's cool. You guys have been doing that for the last 10 years or so.
Yeah, so I'll take credit. I personally put on this tournament for 6 years, and we lost. We were 1-2, but we beat Air Force, who was undefeated.
Oh, how does that feel, Air Force? Yeah.
No, please.
Yeah, we got a pizza ball clip.
Delivery, yeah. Anyway.
So this is a clip from one of our affiliate shows, the Eric Andre show. And it's
any volume though, buddy?
Time to deliver a pizza ball!
Yeah.
Somebody ordered this pizza ball, dude. I'm not paying for this. This thing is straight farm to nut, bro. Time to deliver a pizza ball! Pizza aside, let's talk Scientology. This is a dildo Joe too?
Alright, just get him out. Get out.
Get out. Dude,
I got cut short because I guess we're gonna cut off the air.
Some of the highbrow humor that you will learn from.
Yeah, Skip is actually in jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah, I am in jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
Yeah, so he goes to the dildo Joe.
Dildojo. So let's talk about this. Let's switch gears. Get back into real estate. Are you familiar with the Luna Mansion?
Yeah, it got sold, right?
Okay, so this is news to me.
Did you buy it?
I did, and so surprise guest, Casey Luna is here.
You know that like some of the Lunas are my friends.
I don't know anything about it. I was hoping you could tell me.
No, I only know that some of the Lunas are my friends, but they don't know.
So the Luna Mansion is kind of a historic building in Los Lunas, New Mexico. It is now for sale, 5,400 square foot building located on Main Street in Los Lunas. In the spirit of Josefina Otero, a woman who died during the renovations to the mansion in 1951, is said to haunt it. But either way, it's a lot of events are held down at the Luna Mansion, and a lot of historic value here for the locals. So I just thought that was cool. It's in the news. It's on the market.
I thought it was sold.
It may have. I
thought it was sold by Skip.
Probably was.
Yeah. The thing about where it's at. Have you ever been down Main Street in Los Lunas?
It's very cool. Yeah, I think. No.
Well, that's not where I was going with that. It's a bottleneck, dude. Like people that live in Los Lunas have that's exactly where the bottleneck happens. So.
On Main Street?
Yeah.
All right. Well, GPS it then. Make sure not to head there.
Make sure to go on a detour.
Take the sides.
I actually like Los Lunas. I've had a lot of days in there, and I think it's got
potential.
Yeah, it does. But that they have one road. Like if you want to go anywhere.
Yeah, I get it. Look, that's why it's been slow to grow.
Yeah.
Something else that was interesting in the news. You're familiar when when you're buying and selling investment properties in real estate, a 1031 exchange, especially for investment property for single family homes or residential stuff. Have you ever heard of a 721 tax exchange?
No.
So it's very interesting, and the reason I bring it up is because Texas-based KM Realty acquires Green Jeans and Tin Can Alley food halls here in Albuquerque. So it's a Texas-based commercial real estate firm. It has acquired these new shipping container, there's a picture of it, shipping container food halls. And the way that they did it was by using a 721 tax exchange.
Okay.
And it's a little bit different in the fact that 721 Exchange is a type of real estate exchange that allows investors to contribute property to an umbrella partnership in a real estate investment trust in exchange for units of equity interest in operating partnership of the REIT. So it's just basic stuff.
Yeah, if you know Latin, this is going to be second breeze. Okay, so what does that even mean, though? Like, so how did that get achieved?
It's a good question, but the company. Let's pivot. Let's pivot.
It's a great question.
Yeah, talk to your CPA, Grant. No, but the company is kind of establishing more of a presence here in Albuquerque and looking to buy up some new shopping centers and stuff like that. So just things that are going on in the market, some changes. But I'd never heard of a 721, as obviously we do.
I haven't either.
Single
I don't
family.
even, what do you do with that, though?
It's just fractional ownership and partnerships that are part of investments.
Okay.
Write that down.
Yeah.
Tweet it.
All right. Well, let's get into a mortgage minute with that.
with that.
Yeah,
let's
with
jump
that
into
little
something
number.
simple.
Let's talk about 1031 exchanges. So it's would be considered a tax advantage for you to take the proceeds to go to the next property and not pay taxes on them. So let's say you had a house and from like 3 years ago, and then you sell it, and you could take the proceeds from that and actually not get taxed on that, and it kind of exact the advantage of having the equity in there. So here's the caveat: if you ever sell that house, you have to pay the piper and actually pay for the profits you made off of that. 1031 exchange is actually a great idea, but you have to plant the money, and I think in 60 days. I think if you sell your rental, you have to put it somewhere else within 60 days, and then you can park it somewhere. I had a few customers that were actually stressed that they were just feverishly trying to put the money somewhere else, and that could be a problem too. But it's a tax advantage as long as you never ever take the profit out of it. So 1031, that's your mortgage minute. Skip.
No, it's good. It's good, especially for real estate investors. Like you said, the thing is you cannot have lived in that property. It has to be purely investment property. Yep. And I think you have 60 days to identify the replacement property and 180 days to actually close on it.
I didn't know that part.
So yeah, that's where the timeline starts a ticking. Stay tuned to the next segment. Here's why you're going to want to stay tuned. Chidera Onyia is in studio. We're going to talk about what it's like being a model.
What it's like being hot? Well, we know, but we'll bring on another. We'll bring on a female.
Yeah, female's perspective. Yeah. Just how hard this is.
Yeah, you know what it's like. You know how stressed out we get. It's like how hard is it to walk to our car?
Do you think this is an accident?
Yeah.
So stay tuned to the next segment. This is the YouABQ podcast. Hey, welcome back to the YouABQ podcast. I'm Skip Adams, owner of Sold by Skip Real Estate Brokerage here in Albuquerque.
Grant Harvey, Vision Mortgage Home Loan Expert.
We are joined in studio by Chidera Onyia, 4-time internationally published model and full-time social media influencer. She's making waves in the fashion industry, but also making waves on the YouABQ podcast and putting us on the map. Finally, we're going to get some followers.
Finally, we have a superstar.
Chidera, thank you so much for showing up, man.
Thank you.
Whoa.
Thank you.
We've been going back and forth, you and I, online, trying to find a day and time that works best for our schedules. And so finally, we were able to get you on the show today. So we're super excited to have you.
Oh, I'm super excited to be here. It's an honor.
It's an honor. Why is her mic?
Mike, hey, Mark.
First of all,
our production value.
Love that she's here, but like her mic is going through the speakers.
Yeah.
And we've never had that before.
So she has an angelic voice that's echoing through.
Okay. What can I say?
Yeah.
What can I
This
say?
is going to trip me out.
Yeah. I need like
she
goggles
has
on.
8 speakers going. That's what a wonderful guest she is. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, so season 3, we've been very female heavy, and I think we're just going to continue that rolling because I think
for the rest of our lives.
That's where the dynamic is. That's where our followers really are. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Actually, can you pump our tires and say that how you got here?
Oh yeah.
So, of course. Let me just tell the story real quick.
Yeah.
So, I have a friend who loves real estate. She watches your guys' show.
Shout out. What's her name?
Oh, her name's Lydia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out,
awesome
Lydia.
girl. So she was watching the show, And she was telling me, oh, you should watch this. It's really funny. It might be your type of humor. And I was just like, okay. Because, you know, I'm not really someone who's going to watch comedy. Like, that's probably the last genre on my list. I'll just be honest. Like, and so, of course, I'm, you know, like, okay, like, let's hear it. I put it on, dying. I was just like, some of the jokes.
We will never have a better clip than that. Than what she just said as a review. You know what's crazy about doing this is like people, like, sometimes I'll come up and they go, hey, I want to tell you your show's really funny. And I go, then put a comment on, dude.
Yeah, see some.
God.
Oh my God, watch it. If you're not watching it regularly, you should be.
Like and
so
subscribe.
funny.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a clip. That's a clip.
Yeah, that makes me happy.
No, but that's great. But Chidera, I think you have a cool backstory, and the goal of the show is to just highlight people in Albuquerque and just tell the story. How the hell did you end up in Albuquerque? But you were born in Dallas and kind of made your way here, out, and then back. Talk a little bit about
Yeah, so I guess, you know, travel is in our blood. It seems like we like to move a lot. I was born in Dallas as well as one of my other sisters, and then we moved to Albuquerque when I was super young. So ask me about Dallas and I don't know what to tell you. I couldn't tell you anything. And so we get over here, and then I was here up until maybe about 3rd grade or end of 3rd grade before we moved to Ohio. And we were in a really small town about an hour outside of Columbus for about 4 years before going to Cleveland. And then
Ohio, right?
Ohio.
Okay,
Go
let's talk about
Buckeyes.
Ohio.
Buckeyes?
Oh
No, just period. Ohio's like a mystery. Ohio is so big.
Yeah.
You know how many cities, like Toledo, Columbus, Cincinnati.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about Ohio too? That most people don't think about. They're on East Coast time, and I always think about Ohio as being the Midwest, but they're East Coast time. And the only reason I know that is my father-in-law's in Ohio. So
Oh, what part of Ohio?
he's at Dayton.
Oh yeah, that's
Dayton?
another city, right?
Yeah.
Toledo, all that, like they have like 5 or 6
Cincinnati.
major cities,
Yeah, a
right?
lot.
Yeah, I
A lot.
conceptualize this. I don't know, as a Canadian New Mexico guy, I'm like, oh, you know how many cities they have? Well, boom, just naming them off. Anyways, keep going. Sorry.
The funniest thing about Ohio too is like a lot of people don't know that road runners are real or like a thing, like or tumbleweed, and they're just here regularly.
Yeah.
That's something that's one of my party tricks whenever I'm in Ohio.
I like that. So how many people don't realize that chili is something that you just don't make?
Oh,
Right?
Texas
don't even
chili.
get me started.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like
say Christmas to someone in the Midwest, they have no idea what you're talking about. No idea.
I like it when someone comes from out of state, and so someone goes, oh, they want Christmas, and they think like the whole rest, like everyone's gonna like just crumble. Like, yeah, it's red and green, dude. We all know that, but everyone sort of drops Christmas. Like, yo, do you want to know what that means? Yeah, everyone knows what that freaking means, unless you're in Ohio.
But here's what's cool about you: the Ohio State. Is that right? The Ohio
Yes.
State University. Mm-hmm. Which is great because I think that, and then, okay, so from the Ohio State and now finishing up a degree
Yes.
at the University of New Mexico.
Yes.
The U of New Mexico.
Did you
Yes.
start off as a Buckeye?
I did.
Okay.
Yes, I was there 2019, and then I just got done in May.
Yeah.
And then I'm finishing up my degree with the Lobos. Always good to be home.
Woof, woof, woof. I'll hold my hands up. I went to 1 semester at UNM, so I
You have to hold your hands up. You're sitting next to the coach, man.
I'm sitting next to royalty.
Dude.
So, but here's the cool story about you. Talk about how you know we're here to talk about modeling and just all the weight that's on our shoulders. You know,
Yeah, you
just,
know
it's
how
tough.
our models. You know how our models.
But how did you get discovered?
So it was kind of funny. I originally started just making videos a lot, and I really liked being on camera, and I really just like showing everyone on camera. I was always the paparazzi friend taking videos of everyone. And so I was actually at a game, and I won't lie, you know, I'd been drinking a little bit. I wasn't in the best state of mind. And someone had actually come up to me and told me, like, you should model. I think it would actually change your life. And I remember, I think maybe a week later,
Wow, look at that.
I got, that was
look at what
my
she's up
Paris
to.
magazine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nike?
That's
What are
how
you wearing?
Skip and I's furniture when we used to live together.
But yeah, it was a very interesting thing. It's something that just felt like something I kind of had to do. I was really moved by that statement. And I've always been in the arts my entire life. I started off as a dancer. I did do the hardcore athletics. I did track. That was a big one in my life.
What was your event?
The 1 and the 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
powerful.
Speed.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So, you know, and so, about a week later, I had put in my pictures and submitted to Helen Wall's agency, and I got into their agency and was surrounded by a great community of people. I saw a lot of people around in my community as well, just getting uplifted in the industry, and it was something that really motivated me to be where I'm at today.
So let's talk a little bit about behind the scenes, because I feel like, you know, everybody only gets to see the final product of, you know, the smile, the perfect lighting, and the magazine cover. But is it, I feel like it would be kind of like a reality show behind the scenes of like cats and like, you know, chicks like hiding each other's extensions, like, you know, setting you up to fail. But were there times where it was more uplifting, like sisterhood, helping each other grow?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think the most notable experience for me was probably Miami Swim Week in July. I'd gone there completely by myself, just throwing myself kind of into that world, and it's so much more than anyone even realizes. I mean, there are cameras everywhere, interviewers, different social media outlets. Yeah, that was actually in Miami as well. That was Wellington, one of my photographers. Really great to work with.
I was gonna say, is that Tingley Beach?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's at the local Sonic.
It is. So yeah.
So how long were you in Miami for?
For Swim Week, it was about a week.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, it was about a week that I was gone, but it's one of my most memorable experiences of all time. I mean, the community of people, it was just going there by myself. I have a hard time sometimes vlogging in public. I do a vlog where I vlog every day of my year. And so
there's nothing wrong with that. My dad, if I ever even looked in the mirror, my dad would be like, "Yo, you're so impressed with yourself, Grant." You know, so I know it's like to be like, I kind of, you know, I have this hesitation about like doing, but
yeah, so it's like in public, it's just like everyone's looking at you, and it's just like, oh my God, don't look at me. Yeah. And so there, it was just like everybody was doing it. It was just its own world, and it was so weird, but it was so interesting and very inclusive also as well. I feel like I saw a variety of different types of people. There were a lot of people coming in from Italy, from Brazil, a lot of different places from all over.
Miami's like a hub, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you what, I'll be honest, I've never been to Miami. Have you?
I lived there for 2 years, yeah. It's an international
Yeah,
hub.
I had a skyrise.
Yeah, I lived there for
yeah, so I know what it's like. So I had 2 yachts.
Yeah, that brick
in my
life.
skyrise. Okay,
You guys
so,
didn't get- you
all
guys
right,
aren't on that
leave me
level?
out of this conversation. Keep going.
No, it is a hub for international. I mean, it's an international city. I mean, it's hardly part of the United States when you're in Miami. I mean, culturally, everything's different. So I can only imagine, especially for, you know, that's a place where models from all over the world, you know, descend and run around on the beach and do that.
Luckily, we got a chance to be there.
Yeah.
As local. Yeah, it's 2 local models.
Yeah, no
but
big deal.
yeah.
So that's great. So talk about, you know, I know that your agency that you are on board with it's not local in Albuquerque, but it's in Ohio still, correct?
Yes, it is still in Ohio. That's where one of their offices are, but they're in multiple places like Louisville, Indianapolis. I think they're thinking about moving to Chicago, but they might have just opened something up in Atlanta as well, which is really cool. But currently what the goal is that I'm going to do Arizona Fashion Week at the end of July, but it's a competition for a modeling contract at the end of it. So
what does that look like? Yeah. They take different areas like print, runway, freaking artistic.
So
what do you do?
Personally, it's a little bit more difficult for me personally because I'm not 5'10" or 5'11". I'm not the tallest, but as things have been going.
5'10" chicks though?
I think we like on paper, but I don't think it's about what we want. No. I think it's like what.
Okay, yeah, we're not giving.
What lingerie looks
keep going. Sorry. Yeah, well, I mean, if I had to, okay, let's keep going. Sorry.
I mean,
I know what you're saying.
But now things are a little bit different. Things are getting different. More petite models are starting to walk, curvier models. Victoria's Secret just did the whole world tour, and they had a bunch of curvy girls, which a lot of people had a lot of things to say about that.
That's a side
That's
thing.
a whole thing.
For me, I don't want a girl that looks like she could take me at basketball.
What do you mean, like super athletic?
No, 5'10".
Oh, like a dunk.
I don't want a girl that's going to get my rebounds. I'm going to get the rebounds if we're playing basketball.
You play a lot of female basketball. That's right. You did a
Yeah,
stint in the WNBA.
I played in the WNBA. I had 2
Way in the
seasons,
minors. Yeah,
top
in the minors.
scorer. Yeah.
Big rebound guy.
Sorry, Dick. This is why I hope this is why she liked our episodes because this is stupid.
Yeah, Mark, let's pull up a clip of your show. Mark.
You know why I don't like 5'10"? Actually, my sister's 5'10". Oh, she's gonna not.
She can dunk. She has dunked on.
But it
me.
reminds me. She's not dunked on me. But it reminds me of her kind of so.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about vlogging because I know in the age of social media, it's prevalent in all age groups, all industries.
Of course.
So and it's kind of big in our business as well because we got to go out and film things.
Well, we
and
just learned, like we're old guys. What sets you apart? What
is the internet?
So.
Yeah. How do you get it operate? How do you turn on your cell phone? So what do you think? Like, what do you think your niche is? Like, what do you?
So it's actually kind of interesting because I feel like I'm kind of becoming one of the first of my kind. I'm building my own sort of niche amongst everything else. I did start off kind of following a lot of trends, and I was part of a TikTok content house at the end of 2019, 2020.
Where was that, local or what? Where was it?
No, it was called Midwest Hype House.
Okay.
It was like
This
the
is
hype house,
that's got to
but
be a
the
reality
Help us
show.
get on.
No, but
Help
it
us
was
get
like,
in the mix, please.
oh my God, it was kind of fun. It was a little, I don't know, it was a little risky. It was like it was right before COVID, January, before everything hit. And we drove 3 hours to Indianapolis from Columbus, and it was just like different famous TikTokers were there, like Bryce Hall or like Griffin Johnson, or just like people like you wouldn't expect to
Bryce?
see.
Yeah, he was on the show last week. Yeah, Bryce. Yeah,
Big
Bryce.
fan,
Yeah,
shout out.
Bryce. Yeah, hey, Bryce, what's up?
You're probably tuned in.
Yeah.
So it was a really fun time, and that was kind of my first taste of vlogging and just sort of the whole influencer experience. But after that, I kind of tried to find my own space in social media, and then I kind of just fell back on things I had taught myself when I was younger. I would make my sisters be in mermaid shows that I would film for YouTube, or like H2O type.
Hang on.
It's cute.
What? No, that's fine.
Do it, Mark.
Pull up a mermaid show.
Oh my God.
Because that's going to be what we do next.
Do we have?
Skip that.
links?
Can we be in a mermaid
Of
show?
course.
Oh,
Time out. So
I've been working out a little bit.
when you're vlogging, is it YouTube or you Insta? Where are you famous?
So I, most of my following is on Instagram, but I'm really trying to grow my TikTok, which is where the kind of unfiltered,
Sure.
purely me side comes in.
Yeah.
But I've been molding my Instagram and my TikTok because, to be honest, I want people to know me for more than just my pictures on Instagram. And so I'm utilizing Reels because that's obviously popular with Instagram now. And using that to kind of just boost my account in that way. And people are getting more of a relationship with me on Instagram like they would on TikTok, which I don't think has really been done before on that degree. And then another thing that's kind of different about me is also that there aren't a lot of people that are vlogging every single day of the year
a lot of
either,
work.
which is a lot of days.
Guy.
And we're on a leap year, so it's an extra day too.
Yeah. So now what? Yeah. I don't know if the internet can handle it.
The injections, yes. And we
I don't know
know
if you guys follow current events, but it's a leap year.
why don't we consider leap year in any of our real estate stuff?
I don't know.
And
We're
the
just
other
not
thing
that-
with interest rates, it's a leap year, so
So
we all
you
know there's
tell
a
me what that means.
coefficient and things change.
No, I think that's great because I think, like I said, we're trying to become experts in our social media field as well, and it's a full-time job. And we have a team that kind of helps edit and put our stuff together. So I understand that there's a lot of work that goes into it, and especially doing it every day, and that's commendable. I mean, it's a lot to be that creative and really come up with something new every day is the hard part.
You're vlogging. You know what's crazy? Do you ever see that episode on Netflix where they're like got stranded out there on the plane and these two people end up like being together after it? Do you ever see that? So they vlogged every single freaking day, every day, and they end up like kind of like
on a plane. What'd you say?
They left somewhere else and they couldn't get back.
Ohio, right?
No, an island somewhere, and they end up being together because they had no choice, and they ended up liking each other. But they vlogged every day because they could, but they couldn't get back because the airplanes wouldn't take them back.
There's a movie that reminds me of, but I don't think it's the one you're thinking about.
You mean
Jaws?
This is why she came on the show.
This is why.
Stupid jokes like
I was
this.
excited
She doesn't
for
even
this.
like humor, she said.
Yeah, I'm not
She
even.
hates laughing. This is actually going to make her
She
so
only
mad later.
watches Mark's show.
Oh, man. Her parents are going
I'm
to be
gonna be
really
pissed.
mad, too.
So talk a little bit more, man. So you're going to Phoenix to do the Model Week in Phoenix.
Yes.
And so back to my question. So how it's a contest to see if you can land a big contract. So what are the things that you guys would compete in, or how does that work?
So it would start off with a casting call in July where hundreds of models show up to be cast in a top 40 spot. And once you get cast in the top 40 spot, after that, that's when you go through a boot camp of sorts, going through model walks, you do lookbooks, which are photo shoots kind of showing what the new collection for the emerging designers are gonna be. And then you're essentially prepping for a few months leading up to Arizona Fashion Week, which is a week similar to New York Fashion Week or LA Fashion Week of emerging designers coming out with new collections for a week, and sort of fashion industry's biggest creatives coming out for a week to showcase their styles. And so they'll come out with that, and the models during Arizona Fashion Week will be walking and essentially competing with every one of the other models for a contract with the agency Arizona, which has been a big feeder into agencies that are worldwide, like Select, One Management, Wilhelmina, and a lot of those other ones as well, which could really change a model's entire life.
Yeah. How many, say, if it sound ignorant, how many positions are available? Like, how many spots?
40.
Oh, 40? Okay, okay.
So it's like, at least it's not like 10, because 10, not to say I couldn't do it, but like 10 is just like, okay, but 40, especially with modeling and petite models becoming a new wave of change within the industry, there's gonna be a lot more numbers showing up. I know Miami Swim Week, I went to a casting where there were thousands of people just on Miami Beach, and every single person waiting to get seen for hours.
Do you think Skip has a shot?
I mean, I'm making a comeback.
Come on.
He's getting more petite as we go. Actually, I'm getting more petite as every episode goes.
I don't think petite would ever describe you, dude.
No, I have sunken shoulders.
Yeah,
Would that help me?
slumpy.
Yeah.
Slumpy.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this. Let's put a little bow on this thing, because we'll have links to your IG and the best place that people can. So do you, like on IG. So if somebody wanted to hire you, would they just reach out to your agency, or do they go straight to you, or how does that work?
The nice thing about being an influencer and at the model part too is that the influencing side, everything's on me right now. I'm not listed under management, and so they can completely direct through me.
DM.
100%.
Yeah.
100%, dog.
Yeah, so anyone can always work with me and DM me, and I'm also, again, like I said, I put most of my life out online, so I'm a pretty open person, always willing to help out and always willing to collaborate as well.
I like that. So here's what I've done that's grown my business, and Skip needs to realize this. I actually show most of my life. I go, okay, here's me being an idiot, here's me dancing, here's whatever. And if you're generally like an interesting person, people are generally interested in you.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah.
It's true.
So when it comes, let's bring it all the way full circle. Aspiring models out there, what are some of the things that you learned breaking into the industry? What would you tell my two girls who wanted to be models when they grow up?
So the first thing is that when you come into this industry, you're going to see pros and cons like you will with everything else, but it's important that you stick to what you know as a person, because that is going to be your guide throughout all of it. And that comes with everything. That comes with saying no to brand deals that seem like a lot of money, but not in line with what you value. It's important to stick to what you value at the end of the day, because that's what you're building a business off of. You become your own business at that point, and your personality becomes a business. And so monetizing it is something that is going to separate you from being good to being great, and being really successful, especially in the modeling space. Now more than ever, models are taking to social media to create personas online, to connect with audiences, and that has been the change from models being everyday girls to walking away with L sponsorships. Or we see girls like Alex Earl, for example, was a UMiami girl, and she's landing covers with L and stuff. So it's really important nowadays to also use social media to your advantage. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable and put yourself out there. And you never know what happens when you put yourself out there. You could end up in the position that you always dreamed of.
Let's be honest. And so I think Skip and I's success is predicated on being authentic. And we just, like us or not, we're not trying to cast a huge net, but we're just ourselves, and we always have been that way. And I can appreciate that, because people recognize authentic, and so you go, yeah, this is me, and we'll be honest, we're kind of weirdos. But people like that. We're just like, hey, we're gonna do this, and we don't have this like, what I like about him? He doesn't go, this is Skip Adams, it's a wonderful day.
Yeah, make it a great day in real estate.
Like, dude, no one in the world talks like that, so
right.
That's just kind of how we are. We're goofy, but whoever you are, own it, right?
Exactly.
Own it, yeah. So I appreciate that.
Well, we appreciate your authenticity, your energy, and your overall sparkle on this show for
and
season
look at
3.
that, show off the
Shout out Duke City.
I mean,
check that out, yeah.
If you're not
there we
repping.
go. There we go.
Shout out Duke City.
I mean,
I wish we could dress like that.
I wish I had feet.
you always gotta come with the heat.
Yeah, I wish I had a napkin in my pocket.
Get out of here. Chidera Onyia. Great name, great story. Thank you for joining us today. We'll have links to all your IG and everything as well.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And here's why you're going to want to stay tuned. It's everybody's favorite. I don't even have to tell you. I'm going to tell you. It's time for...
If you don't, Amy's going to.
Skip's Tips. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Chidera, for coming on. We're on Skip's Tips, segment 3. That's a chunky.
That's right, it Skip's Tips. Anything that saves us time, makes us more money, or allows us to have more fun in real estate or real life. Shopping for a home? 5 things that will absolutely torpedo your credit score. And the last one's pretty obvious. Number 1, closing old credit lines that you're not using. I've made this mistake in the past where I have an old credit card I'm not using, so I just cut it up and close the account. Bad idea. That's gonna take away years and years of credit that I've built up. Number 2, opening new credit cards. It's like you can't win. But if you're in a position where your credit score is on the cusp of qualifying you for the best rate or an okay rate, opening new lines of credit can actually reduce your credit score by a few points, thus making you qualify for a less popular rate. Number 3, not using your lines of credit. Say you have $20,000 in a credit line that's just sitting there, you're not using it. Well, if you don't use it, you lose it. The more you use your credit, the better your score will be. Number 4 is obvious, failing to pay your bills or being late on payments. This is gonna negatively impact your credit score and thus make it harder for you to obtain a mortgage. And number 5, obviously, co-signing on a loan. This can come back to bite you in the ass years later. Helping a friend qualify for that car loan, say he defaults 5 years later, you forgot. I co-signed on that car loan. These are some ways that will absolutely torpedo your credit score when you're shopping for a house. Share this with a friend and tell them Skip said so.
Yeah, another perfect episode.
I cannot believe no chunkies.
Man.
No
chunkies. That's a chunky. What was I going to add? Yeah, the closing credit cards is actually some of the things that people think they ought to do. but it's actually
detrimental.
Yeah, oh yeah, because you have this account history, and that's what your credit score is predicated on. So that's a chunky.
That's a tough lesson I learned. Tell you what.
Yeah, Skip's credit score is like 512 now.
Wednesday night, Sunday mornings here on the Education Channel and worldwide on YouTube at the YouABQ
I like he didn't
Podcast.
even say anything about that. He just don't care. Okay, that's a chunky.
Stay tuned. This is
The
all
mouth
about
doesn't move.
YouABQ.
The mouth doesn't move.
I gotta get
Figure
of
out what
here.
you
This show
do.
Fucking sucks.
You're watching YouABQ.